Toronto is one of the most diverse cities in the world and is committed to a workforce that reflects that diversity. Yet, upwards of 60% of people with disabilities are unemployed. 60%. What steps can you take as mayor to ensure that people with disabilities are able to obtain employment?
Thank you, Steve. Well, the first thing that we need to do is make sure that of the 50,000 people that work for the city, that we understand how to remove their barriers to employment. So we've taken steps to survey our workforce to make sure that we remove all barriers within the City of Toronto that work for the City of Toronto. Then we need to take that out. Those lessons learned, we need to take them out more broadly. Because having accessible transit means that people can get to work on time. And sometimes Wheel-Trans is unreliable. So we need to make sure the conventional system is accessible. And we need to make sure that employers understand that they have to create a workplace where everybody can go to work. And sometimes it means retrofitting, sometimes it means something as simple as a ramp. But too often, we see barriers for people to participate in the workforce. And removing those barriers is critical to get people productive, working where they want to be working, contributing back, and having their dignity. Thank you.
John Tory.
You probably won't hear this as often as you should, but I think what Karen said about the workplace is very important. But so too is it really important for companies to decide that they're going to make it a priority to make opportunity available within their company. So if you look at the TD Bank, they've taken just the small step, but I think it's big in many respects compared to other companies, of making their website and other kinds of recruitment channels accessible to everybody so people can look at those jobs. If you look at SAP, the accounting software company, they have decided to particularly focus in on some people that have autism and other kinds of disabilities of that sort, because they recognize some of those people actually have very special talents when it comes to being able to work in that particular environment on accounting software. And so I think you've got to, one of the things you have to do as the leader of the city is to get business to come together and say, look, there are good examples of people out there who are making sure opportunities are available to disabled people. We have to make more and more and more of those opportunities available, so there are places to go that are barrier-free and places to go to have
Thank you, John Tory. Olivia,
I want to thank Community Living for its work providing career placements and training, and I know it has impacted a lot of people. I support community benefits agreements. They attach conditions to major city infrastructure projects. They're practical, they work, and they guarantee jobs and training. It's not just up to the goodwill of the companies. I support them to fight youth unemployment, and we can also do the same with people that have different abilities. I'm very open to speaking with companies with which the city does business with to see if we can't use this common sense idea to provide employment opportunities for people.
Thank you, Olivia. Got some water there? David, please.
Thank you. Yes, in fact, you do start with the city. We start with the 50,000 odd employees that are working here now. And what we do is we put in rules that make sure that we hire the very best, and yet at the same time we're sensitive and very supportive of those who need adaptation to make sure that their potentials are fulfilled. Once we do that, and we can do it to make sure we hire the best without recognition of ability or disability, then we go outside. We make sure that we look at those who are working with the city to say, here are the rules that we have put in place, and we need to make sure that those rules are in place for others as well. It could be as simple as a checklist, but at the same time it requires auditing. And finally, the third step is to celebrate our successes. We have successes here at the city. Eventually we'll have successes with those who work with the city, and we need to celebrate them to set an example of what can be done and set the example far and wide.
Very good. Thank you, candidates.